He was multifarious genius of his age. He translated Patanjali's grammar into Arabic. He also learned Greek and translated the famous works written on mathematics by Greek scholar Eliot. This is one of the important sources of Dili Sultanate age. And also Kitabul Rehla. Kitabul Rehla, the author of Ibn Battuta. He was a great scholar in Arabic. He was born at Tangier in Africa in the year of 1304. He was honored by Mohammed bin Tughlaq at his court. He held the post of Qazi or judge. In the year of 1342 AD, the Sultan appointed Ibn Battuta as his ambassador to China and ordered him to proceed to the court of Mongol ruler of China. Battuta, after traveling through Malabar, Maldives, Sri Lanka, Bengal, Assam, reached Chinese port citizens. He also traveled extensively in China, going as far as Beijing before returning to him home in the year 1354 AD. And Tabaqat-i Nasri. Tabaqat-i Nasri, one of the important sources of
Sir, page number chapter, sir. Sir, page number.
Volume of their text entitled History of India. Page number is 80. Establishment of Dili Sultanate period. The most of the important sources. Tabaqat-i Nasri. The author of Minhajuddin Siraz. Minhajuddin Siraz reached Sindh and impressed the slave dynasty, Sultan Iltutmish, and he was appointed as teacher at Madrasa-e-Firoz. Minhaj held various positions under slave dynasty between 1228 to 1265. Tabaqat-i Nasri gives a detailed account about the major events of early Turkish rule and slave dynasty period and about different caliphs. Rulers of Iran, Central Asia, Ghazni, and Gaur. Modern historians appreciated the work of Minhajuddin Siraz.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, this is third block, sir. What about the two blocks, sir, before this?
What? Tell me.
Sir, ఇది 7th యూనిట్ చెప్తున్నారు కదండి సార్.
Yes.
హలో.
Yes, 7th unit.
సార్ దీని ముందు 6 యూనిట్స్ ఎప్పుడు చెప్తారు సార్?
Next. First, this is very important chapter, examination point of view.
Okay.
First, this chapter is completed after I will tell 6th chapters.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Sir. Okay.
Very important chapter. This
Okay,
is,
sir.
Okay. And next, another important sources is Amir Khusru was written by Tughlaqnama, and Tariq-i-Alai. Very, very important sources during this period. Amir Khusru was one of the leading scholar and poet of Dili Sultanate age. He wrote a large number of historical masnavis and diwans. He was assassinated with 6 sultans of slave, Khilji, and Tughlaq dynasties. His works are Futuhat ul Futuh, Ashika, Tughlaqnama, Tariq-i-Alai. Most of the important source in Tughlaq dynasty, Tughlaqnama. Very important sources, Tughlaqnama was written by Amir Khusru and also Tariq-i-Alai. Tariq-i-Alai was described Alauddin Khilji life history and invasions. Among the above works of Amir Khusru, Ashika became more popular. It contains the romantic affair between Devala Devi, the daughter of King Karnadeva of Gujarat, and Khizri Khan, son of Alauddin Khilji. This is very important sources. Tariq-i-Alai gives the detailed account of Alauddin Khilji first 16 years of rule. This works gives historical information about Sultan marketing reforms and South Indian conquests. Tariq-i-Alai, this is very, very important. Tariq-i-Alai was important sources. This text gives the details of Alauddin Khilji invasions and life history also. This is very important sources. And Tariq-i-Firoz Shahi, the author of Ziauddin Barauni. This is also very important sources during this period. Tariq-i-Firoz Shahi, the author of Ziauddin Barauni. Tariq-i-Firoz Shahi very important sources. He hails from a very highly educated family. His father and his uncle Allah ul Mulk served in various positions under Balban, Jalaluddin Khilji, and Alauddin Khilji, and Mohammed bin Tughlaq. Eliot and Dawson gave its English version in the 3rd volume of their text History of India, as told by her own historians. His works provides a detailed accounts of political system, economic policies, social conditions, and judicial system of slave, Khilji, and Tughlaq age. Next, another important sources, literary sources was Futh-us-Salatin, Another important literary sources. Us Salatin. This is also very, very important sources. Malik Isami was written by Us Salatin. Malik Isami, popularly known as Isami, wrote Us Salatin in the year of 1350 AD. He was the contemporary of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He gave the account of difficulties faced by public when Sultan ordered the shifting of capital city from Delhi to Daulatabad. He, along with his grandfather, suffered due to Sultan order. After the foundation of independent kingdom at Gulbarga in 1347 AD by Alauddin Hasan Gangu Bahman Shah, Isami entered into the court of Bahmani Sultan. He was patronized by Sultan. This is very important literary resources. First of all, we will discuss Arab invasions. Arab invasions of Sindh. The rise of Islam is a significant event in the history of Arabia and Central Asia. Prophet Muhammad was son of Amina and Abdullah, and he belongs to Qurayshi tribe of the Arabs. His father died before his birth and his mother when he was just 6 years of age. Are you understand, all of you? Hello? Dear students. Are you listen here, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Please respond immediately. Are you understanding?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, right. His uncle Abu Talib played key role in the development of Islam. After the death of Prophet Muhammad in 632 AD, the Umayyad Caliphs took the responsibility of spreading Islam in other parts of the world. Abbasids succeeded Umayyads as the Caliphs. The followers of Islam recognized Caliphs as their spiritual and political head. The Arabs were the first foreigners of invaded India. They had peaceful commercial relations with India from ancient times. Their attitude towards India changed after the advent of Islam. They got united in the name of Islam, and political ambition arose in them. They conquered Syria, Egypt, North Africa, and Spain. They prepared a plan to conquer Afghanistan and Sindh. The eastern expansion of the Arab Empire and the Arab conquest of Kabul brought them closer to the frontier of India. They started making repeated attacks upon the Indian coasts, but these were only plundering raids and not conquests. The first organized attempt the conquered Indian territory was made during the time of Khalifa Walid. Some Sindh pirates had plundered the Arab ships that were carrying valuable presents to Khalifa. The incident has taken place near Deval, a seaport in the province of Sindh. The Khalifa ordered his victory Hajjaj to punish the pirates. Hajjaj failed to receive satisfactory reply from Dahir, the ruler of Sindh, on the incident. Hence, Hajjaj had decided to invade to Sindh. That's why all Hajjaj had decided to invade to Sindh in 711 AD. The expedition was organized in 712 AD under Mohammed bin Qasim. He came to India with a huge army. He fought against Dahir and killed him at Alor War. Please listen carefully, all of you. This is very, very important. He fought against Dahir and killed him at Alor War. Qasim then advanced against Multan and captured it. Subsequently, he planned to invade Kannauj but was called back and put to death by the Khalifa. This is Arab invasions of Sindh in 712 AD. Next subheading is Turkish invasions. The Arab success in Sindh was a short-lived one. The Arab success in Sindh was a short-lived one. During the following few centuries, India enjoyed comparative immunity from Muslim invasions. In the meantime, the Caliphate, which was once a tower of strength and inspiration of the Muslim world, slowly declined. It was destroyed by the Turks. Subsequently, the Turks established a large number of small independent principalities on the arena of the old empire. Some of these chiefs followed an aggressive policy of expansion at the expense of their weak neighbors. Sultan Mohammed of Ghazni was the first to penetrate deep into India. But he did not establish his empire in India. He only plundered and wealth of India. He only plundered the wealth of India. The credit of establishing the first Islamic empire in India goes to Muhammad Ghori. He followed Muhammad of Ghazni. Ghaznavid raids. The Yamini Dynasty was generally known as Ghaznavi Dynasty. The Yamini Dynasty was generally known as Ghaznavi Dynasty. It claimed its origin from the family of Persian ruler Alaptajin founded the independent kingdom of the Ghaznavi dynasty in 962 AD. Ghazni was his capital. Ghazni was his capital. His successor, Sabaktajin, further strengthened the Ghazni kingdom by conquest and administration. Sabaktajin fought against Jaipala, the Hindu Raja of Punjab. Jaipala was defeated and compelled to cede the territory round Kabul, pay a heavy tribute, and recognize the Muslim sovereignty. Sabaktajin was died in 997 AD and was succeeded by his son Muhammad Ghazni. Next, tell about Sultan Muhammad Ghazni. Sultan Muhammad Ghazni. He was ruled in 998 to 1030 AD. Muhammad Ghazni was born in 971 AD. From his boyhood, he developed the caliph qualities of a soldier. In 998 AD, he succeeded his father's throne after a brief struggle with his brother Ismail. Within few years, he strengthened his northern frontier, completely destroyed the Samanid Empire, and extended his kingdom as far as the Axis. His status as the Sultan was recognized by the Khalifa, who bestowed on him the title of Yaminu Dawla. Khalifa was given to the title of Yamin Ud-Dawla. After settling his affairs at home, Muhammad turned his attention towards Hindustan. He invaded India for two reasons, namely economic and religious. The fabulous wealth of India roused his greed, and his religious zeal made him suppress the idolatry. He is said to have invaded India almost every year between 1000 AD to 1026 AD. He undertook as many as 17 raids. First one, political condition of India. During this time, how to political condition of India? On the eve of Mohammed invasions, India was divided into a number of small independent states ruled in North India. There were two Arab kingdoms in Sindh and Multan. The Hindu kings were ruling over northwest India, the Punjab, Kashmir, Kannauj, Kalinjar, Gujarat, Malwa, Bundelkhand, and Bengal. The Chalukyas of Kalyani and Cholas of Tanjavur were powerful in South India. Thus, there was no political unity in India at the time of Muhammad Ghazni invasions. Please listen carefully. Ghazni Muhammad raids between 1000 to 1026 AD. At the time of small number of independent states ruled during this period. For example, Rajput kings. Page number is 80 in my book. Okay. Okay, political conditions at the time of Muhammad Ghazni invasions, small independent states were Pratiharas, Paramaras, Chendela, Bundelulu, Kalachuryas, Pala dynasties. Many small Rajput kingdoms ruled at the time of Ghazni invasions. This is India. This is North India. This is South India. The northern India was divided into a number of small independent states. For example, Kalachuryas ruled in Gujarat, Bundelulu, Paramarulu, Pratiharulu, Pala dynasty. Number of small Rajput kingdoms, no unity during this period. At the same time, the Chalukyas of Kalyanis and the Cholas of Tanjavur were powerful in South India. Kalyani Chalukyas ruled this place. This place is Cholas, a powerful kingdoms in South India. Thus, there was no political unity in India during this period. Next subheading is invasions of Muhammad Ghazni. Invasions of Muhammad Ghazni. In 1001 AD, he crossed the frontier of India, and in the next year, he defeated and imprisoned Jaipala, the Raja of Batinda. But Jaipala, in order to save his honor, committed suicide. Muhammad Ghazni gathered rich spoils during this expedition. In 1004 AD, he attacked the kingdom of Roy of Behra, and in 1005 AD, he fought against the Muslim ruler of Multan, Anandapala, and his allies were defeated in his sixth expedition. The 7th to 11th invasions were undertaken against Nagarkot, Narayanpur, Kashmir, Staneshwar, okay, and Madhura. The 12th invasion was led against Rajapala of Kanauj. Kanauj was plundered. The Chandela king of Kalinjar was defeated in the 13th invasion. The 14th and 15th invasions were conducted against Gwalior and Kashmir. Please listen carefully, all of you. The 14th invasion were conducted against Gwalior, and 15th invasions were conducted Kalinjar. The most important exploit of Muhammad Ghazni was the shake of Somnath temple in Kathiawar in 1025 or 1026 AD. He destroyed the idol and looted the wealth of the temple. His last expedition was in 1027 AD to punish the Jats who attacked his army while returning from Somnath. Where is located Somnath temple?
Gujarat.
Yes, very good. Gujarat. Exactly correct. Merely with war and worn out with illness, he died in 1029 AD. Next subheading is results of Muhammad invasions. Results of Muhammad invasions. Sultan Muhammad's objects in undertaking The Indian expedition was the plunder of the riches of India and not permanent conquest of Hindustan. Only Punjab was annexed to the Ghazni Sultanate. His invasions caused the destruction of the temples of Madura, Kanauj, Kathiawar. Islam was carried into the heart of India. Next subheading is estimate of Muhammad. Next subheading is estimate of Ghazni Muhammad. Muhammad Ghazni died in 1029 AD. He was a pious Sunni Mohammedan, and at the same time he was a religious fanatic. But Muhammad Ghazni was a great general conqueror. Muhammad Ghazni was a great general and conqueror. He expanded a small principality into a large and prosperous empire. His successors were weak and incapable. During their time, the sovereignty passed into the hands of the Gori chieftains. After the fall of Ghaznavid, the Gori family raised to prominence after the death of Muhammad Ghazni. Next, chapter is the subunit Muhammad Gori or Muhammad Ghor. Muhammad Ghor or Muhammad Gori. He was reigned in 1173 to 1206 AD. Gori was a small mountainous principality. The first important ruler of this dynasty was Ghiyazuddin Muhammad. The first important ruler of this dynasty, Ghiyazuddin Muhammad. He brought Ghazni under his control and appointed as governor his brother Muyazuddin, popularly known as Muhammad Ghori or Gori Muhammad. Causes of his invasions. After the becoming the administrator of Ghazni, Muhammad Ghori wanted to establish his rule over the Punjab, which was a part of Ghaznavid Empire. He wanted to establish Muslim rule in India Second Battle of Tarain in 1192 AD. Next subheading is Battles of Tarain. Very, very important. Battles of Tarain. The annexation of Punjab by Mohammed alarmed Prithviraj Chauhan, the ruler of Dili and Ajmer. When Muhammad advanced into India with his army, the Rajputs formed a great confederacy to resist the invader. This confederacy was headed by Prithviraj. The Rajput and Muslim forces met at Tarain near Staneshwar in 1191 AD, and the Muslims' army was driven away. But Muhammad returned with a huge army in 1192 AD to average his defeat. Battle was fought for a second time in the field of Tarain. The Rajputs met with a disastrous defeat. Prithviraj Chauhan was captured and killed in 1192 AD. Dili and Ajmer were conquered by Muhammad in 1192 AD. This was followed by the conquest of Saraswati, Samana, Puhran, and Hansi. Muhammad then returned to the capital, leaving his lieutenant or regent Qutbuddin Aibak in charge of his Indian possession. Muhammad Ghor knew his Indian conquest would not be secure unless the Rajputs were completely crushed. Therefore, in 1194 AD, he marched against Jayachandra, the Raja of Kannauj. Jayachandra was defeated and killed in the Battle of Chandwar War. The temples at Benares were destroyed in 1195 AD. Muhammad conquered Bayana and Gwalior. This is Battle of Tarains. And the next subheading is Estimate of Muhammad Ghori. Muhammad Ghori came to India for the last time in 1205 AD to suppress the rising of Gakkars. The rebellion was suppressed, but Muhammad Ghori was assassinated by a body of Gakkars in March 1206 AD. Muhammad was both a statesman and a conqueror. His conquest led to far-reaching results. He was successful in establishing a large empire in India. Since he was the first to entertain the idea of carving out an empire in India, he deserves to be regarded as the founder of the Islamic Empire in India. Muhammad, by his political achievements and an enlightened religious policy, prepared the ground for the rapid progress of Islam in India. This is estimate of Muhammad Ghori. Next, effects after the Ghazni Muhammad, effects of Muslim invasions. The success of the Muslims, especially the Turks, led to beginning of the rule of Muslims and form entrenchment of Islam in India. After the death of Muhammad Ghori, his governor of Indian territories, Qutbuddin Aibak, laid the foundation of the rule of the slave dynasty in India. New methods of warfare and new reforms in military organization were introduced in India. It in turn the military strength of the Indian Army. According to Dr. Jadunath Sarkar, India received its contacts with foreign countries, which increased its foreign trades. Persian language was introduced as the court language in India. Finally, the Hindus and the Muslims came closer to each other, which had a lasting effect on the further course of Indian culture and politics. Next subheading is causes for the success of Muslims. Causes for the success of Muslims. In spite of superior manpower and resources, the Hindus were defeated at the end. Many factors led to the success of the Muslims. There are as follows. One is, there was no political unity in India. First one, there was no political unity in India. The whole country was divided into a number of independent principalities and states. Mutual jealousies among them prevented them from uniting themselves against the Muslim invaders. This is first cause. Second cause is Hindu society was divided into castes and creeds. National interests were subordinated to the interests of the classes or of a sections. These differences prevented the union for various groups for the purpose of common defense. There were no such differences among the Muslims. They fought against the Rajputs with the greatest religious zeal. G-E-A-L. Greatest religious zeal. This is second cause. Next, third cause was the Rajputs had a defective military system. The Rajputs had military system was defective. They had no standing army and they were mainly dependent on the feudal force. The military system of the Hindus was also outdated. The Muslims armies have worked under single leadership and fought against their enemies with determination. All the above mentioned causes contributed to the sources of the Muslims over Indian rulers. This is main causes of success of Muslim rulers. Next chapter is Dili Sultanates. During the period between 1206 to 1526 AD, members belonging to the 5 dynasties. Our time is over. Hello? Dear students, are you listening here? Hello?
Listening, sir.
Time is over?
No, sir. 4:30, sir.
4:30?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. During the period between 1206 to 1526 AD, members...
Sir, excuse me, sir. Sorry, sir. Class up to 4 o'clock, sir. By mistake, I told 4:30, sir.
Okay, okay, very good. Okay, today's class is over. Tomorrow is start exactly 3 p.m. Okay, thank you, all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, welcome.
Leave the meeting.